All right, let's dive into a truly pivotal moment in the life of Jacob. This is a cinematic journey, really. It's a story that kicks off with a brand new identity and a divine promise, but it ends with a devastating loss. And it makes you wonder, what's the real cost of knowing your own destiny? So picture this. Jacob is 100 years old. He's just left Padanaram, and he has this incredible encounter with a divine presence. And what happens next isn't just a simple blessing. No, it's a complete teardown and rebuild of who he is and the entire future of his family. We're calling this first act a name reforged, because that's exactly what it is. This isn't just about getting a glimpse of the future, it's about shattering an old identity to forge a brand new one from the pieces. And the weight of this change is just immense. I mean, think about it. His original name, Jacob, it means supplanter. It points to a life of conflict, of struggling against other people, like his brother Esau. But his new name, Israel, that means he who strives with God. This is a total game changer. It's a fundamental shift from earthly battles to a relationship with the divine. And of course, with a new name like that comes an absolutely epic promise. The Almighty lays out this massive covenant. We're talking legacy on a planetary scale here. Nations, kings, dominion over the entire earth, forever. This is the destiny that's now tied to the name Israel. And then the encounter is over. The divine presence ascends, pulling back up into the heavens, and Jacob is left there, just watching the empty sky. This image of ascending is so important. It's the first half of a visual pattern we're going to see again. But for now, Jacob's alone, left to wrap his head around this staggering new reality. Now, you don't just walk away from an experience like this and forget about it. Jacob knows he has to make it real, to mark this spot. So he performs this ritual that literally grounds this heavenly promise right here on earth. He takes a stone and sets it up, like a monument. He makes it sacred by pouring a drink offering on it, and then he anoints it with oil. And by calling the place Bethel, which means house of God, he turns this random patch of ground into a sacred memorial, a permanent landmark of where heaven and earth met. But the revelation is not over, not by a long shot. That night, Jacob has a vision, but you can't even really call it a dream. It's more like he's given a front row seat to history itself, delivered straight from the heavens. And here it is, the other half of that visual motif we talked about. Before, God ascended. Now, an angel descends. It's this perfect, powerful symmetry framing the whole event. So the billion-dollar question is, what kind of knowledge is this angel bringing with him? 7. The angel is holding 7 tablets, and on them is literally the blueprint of the ages, the entire story of what's going to happen to Jacob and his sons through all of time. You'd think the first piece of information would be some grand prophecy, right? But it's not. It's a restriction. The angel tells Jacob that despite everything that just happened here, he is not to build a permanent sanctuary at Bethel. It's a really clear message. Destiny isn't just about glory, it's about obedience, about following a very specific path. Then it gets deeply personal. Jacob learns that he's going to die in Egypt, a long way from home. But he's also given this assurance of a peaceful end and an honorable burial back in his ancestral land. It's this strange mix of comfort and, displacement. Jacob is, understandably overwhelmed by all this. He asks the most human question imaginable. How on earth am I supposed to remember all of this? And the angel's answer is a simple, miraculous promise. I will help you. He won't have to rely on his own memory. He's going to have divine help. And sure enough, when Jacob wakes up, the promise is fulfilled. The angel's gone, but that vast, impossibly complex history he was shown is perfectly clear in his mind. He immediately gets to work writing it all down, becoming not just a patriarch, but a scribe of divine history. Okay, so far it's been all divine revelations and epic destiny. But now, the story takes a sharp turn. The tone shifts, and we're pulled from the heavens right back down to the very human consequences of it all. Because great blessings, they often come with great costs. And this sequence of events is just, wow. It's so incredibly bittersweet. First, Jacob creates a new holy day, a celebration he calls addition. Right after that, his new son Benjamin is born. But this beautiful moment of new life, this addition to his family, is tragically inextricably linked to the profound loss of his beloved wife, Rachel. In her last, agonizing moments, Rachel names her son Benoni, which means son of my sorrow. It's a name born from unimaginable suffering, her final words capturing the pain of the very act that's taking her life. But Jacob, he steps in and renames him. He changes the name from Benoni to Benjamin, son of the right hand, a name of honor, of strength. He refuses to let his son's life be defined by sorrow, even as he now has to carry that sorrow himself. And what makes it all the more tragic is this. Rachel was only 45 years old when she died. Her long journey, which was filled with so much hope and struggle, just ends right there, on the side of the road. And here we see another pillar. Just like he did at Bethel, Jacob sets up a stone to mark a pivotal moment. But the contrast is absolutely heartbreaking. The first pillar at Bethel, that marked a divine encounter, a future revealed. The second pillar, it marks a human farewell, a future that was lost. So that brings us to the end, to Jacob's quiet acceptance of his new reality. He's living a life that's now been irrevocably shaped by both a divine promise and a deeply human grief. He has to find a way to move forward. And he does what he has to do. He packs up his camp and just keeps going, pitching his tent beyond the Tower of Eddar. That simple act of moving on, it says everything about his resilience and his unbreakable commitment to follow the path that was shown to him. And this final detail is just so poignant. Jacob moves his personal dwelling into the tent that belonged to Bilhah, who was Rachel's handmaid. It's a practical move, sure, but it's also deeply symbolic. It marks the definitive emotional end of an entire era for him and his family. And that leaves us with this final thought. Jacob was shown the whole future. But does that kind of foreknowledge actually empower you? Does it give you a map to follow? Or does it just trap you in a cage of things that are destined to happen? It's a question that echoes way beyond this one ancient story.